Yo, this is Quiet, and I want to talk about sub-weapons, specifically the cooldown on sub-weapons. Not just the fact that you need to refill your ink to reuse sub-weapons, but the fact that you can't actually absorb ink while it's on cooldown. This makes it so you need to consider using sub-weapons because it may leave you vulnerable. So I wanted to break down what you could do to reduce the cooldown. I ended up using ink recovery up and ink saver sub to demonstrate the differences. I'm going to break down the cooldown speed and how fast your ink can refill for another sub-weapon. In general, burst bombs consume a small amount of ink compared to the rest of the sub-weapons, so the cooldown isn't so bad. The difference may be subtle, so I doubled the animation to see the difference between simply having a single ink saver sub and ink recovery up plus ink saver sub. I'd recommend 1 ink recovery up and 2 ink saver subs for anyone who likes using burst bombs, because you could throw 3 burst bombs with full ink. I began to notice how much ink saver sub makes a difference with the cooldown beating ink recovery, so ink recovery up alone might not be ideal if you're using sub weapons, but the difference is subtle and it's not a big deal. Splat bombs have a decent sized cooldown before recovering ink, with a few more frames compared to the burst bombs. So with the suction bombs, I noticed that recovering enough ink for another sub weapon between ink recovery up and ink saver sub takes the same amount of time. Overall, the cooldown on the suction bomb is a few frames slower than the splat bomb. The curling bomb's cooldown is about the same as the suction bomb. You can recover enough ink to throw another curling bomb before it explodes with ink recovery up and ink saver sub, and both. Another thing to point out is ink recovery actually recovers 1 frame faster than ink saver sub. The cooldown on the auto bomb is twice as much as the splat bomb. It's a pretty strong sub weapon, so it's pretty reasonable to have a longer cooldown, and ink recovery up is a frame faster than ink saver sub. The sprinkler's cooldown is just as much as the splat bomb. The point sensor's cooldown is twice as much as the burst bomb. Ink recovery up is faster than ink saver sub by 1 frame. Toxic Mist's cooldown is the same as the auto bomb. Ink recovery up is faster than ink saver sub by 1 frame. So ink mines and squid beacons are very interesting sub-weapons because they actually don't have cooldowns. Ink recovery is also faster than ink saver sub by 1 frame with both ink mines and squid beacons. With ink mines, you can almost put mines back to back. With squid beacons, I think having at least ink recovery up would be really beneficial. So lastly, the splash wall has the largest cooldown before being able to consume ink, being about 3 times longer than the suction bombs. And of course, there could only be 1 splash wall out at a time. So overall, it looks like having ink saver sub actually reduces the cooldown it takes to consume ink, with the exception of ink mines and squid beacons having absolutely no cooldowns. So with ink saver sub, you can save more ink in your tank and reduce the cooldown by a bit. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was helpful to get your ink on.